Okay, so I wanted to show you my latest journal. I'm calling it my experimentation journal. And I wanted to make a quick little video just to show you the inside pages live. Um, Maybe to pique your interest, because my plan is to actually create an online course or an e-course on how I put this together so that you can make your own too. So I don't think I had shown you the cover, but this is a Moleskine journal, and what I did was just covered it in this beautiful Cavallini paper. It's not a new print from Cavallini, but it's one that I've always loved. So I use that for my cover. So let me just show you quickly some of the inside pages. I did really just collage, not a lot of text. And this journal was inspired by this great pack of antique papers that I found. And the idea was to create it just with antique papers and ledgers and textbook pages. So I have ribbon, I used gesso, and I used gel medium just to paste everything together, and it gives it sort of a uniform look. This, probably a lot of you have seen either on Flickr or on my website, one of my favorite spreads. I used sequin waste and sprayed it with my glimmer mist. This is another great page using a stamp of text. I don't know how well you can see that. It's a stamp that I rarely use, but every time I use it, I wonder why don't I use it more often. I also included little envelopes here. This is actually an envelope with a glass front. This is one of my favorite spreads, just very antique-y looking. I included some vintage tags here. Florals always seem to find their way into my work, even though the idea of this one was that it would just be vintage papers, more like this. So here I used gesso. I don't know how well you can see that, but, or not gesso, but molding paste, and I stamped into it. Another nice page, very simple, but I really like this one. I have an antique pin here, and also a twig. So just the twig that I had from my garden left over from the summer. This is a page, you may recognize this printout. It's from some work I did for a foster association this past fall, and I just kept it really simple. Again, more just layers of paper, some vintage paper I found. This one's pretty busy, probably busier than I realized I needed to do, but that's okay. It is my journal of experimentation. Again, great antique papers. This is tape. These 3 strips are tape that you can buy now. That's just great. Very simple page, but I seem to now like the simpler pages the best. This was the insert in the Moleskine. It's a sheet of paper that describes Moleskine. I think this is in Italian, so I thought it was fun to stick that in. These 2 pages turned out really great. It was some antique paper, some stamping in the background. I find this really looks vintage, really old, like as if it really, really came from an old book pile somewhere. More ledger paper, business card here. This one I like. I used a big fat pastel for the pink here, but it just seemed to work really well. Again, more vintage paper. This one I didn't even put the gel medium on top just because I thought it worked really well just as it was. Here I have a wax stamp, a little bit of fluff on it there. More vintage papers. This is actually a Cavallini paper too, from a textbook that I just aged. same. So this is a spread I like too. It's on this side an old vintage page that I just crumpled and stamped. This is a bingo card that I've had just about forever, and I could never find the right place for it, but I thought it worked really well here. It's one of my favorites. I don't know how well you can see the color, but it's like a grayish blue, and I just find it works really well. I used a stamp here. You know, this is a stamp where you can take out all the individual letters. But in this case, I just took the whole stamp and stamped it on there, and I like the way that turned out. Again, more ledger paper here and here. This is fun. It was actually the instructions in a jar, like a little compact sized jar of dye and powdered dye, and it was all folded up, but when you unfolded it, it made a nice circular pattern that I used there. Like this spread too, I found that not only do the browns work really well to make things look aged, but I also really like this kind of faded pink. Seems to work really well. This was a paper bag, bags that I purchased on Etsy. I should probably get you the name of the Etsy seller, but just regular bags, and she had stamped little chandeliers on them, so I crumpled it and then used my distress pad to just stamp over it, and I think that worked out well. I like the way it looks. Again, more pinks, more gesso, more of the bird theme, I guess. A little, I don't know if you can see that, but little pin stuck in there on a ribbon. Again, more text pages, my favorite stamp there, letter stamp, script stamp they call it. This page too uses that pink kind of glaze. So what I do is I take the gel medium and I put it on the brush, and then I dip my brush into some watered down pink paint and just brush all over it, and it gives it this vintagey look. But that I would show you too in the video. More of the pink with some rub-on letters here, little button, other embellishments here that I think are fun. And then my last page, a little darker blue ledger that I found, and again, that stamp. So I hope you enjoyed looking at that with me, and I hope it inspired you to create your own journal. And if not, you're welcome to come and join me on my online course, where I'll show you how I made each of these pages, and we'll do it together in maybe another Moleskine journal. Okay, so look for that coming soon in February on my blog. Thanks.